Pascal Barnes puts it in. The exclamation point. The Raptors somehow win this game 123 to 116. They were down 54 to 35 at the half and pull out the overtime win. Wow. This post-game show is the most loaded we'll ever have, potentially, on this channel. How did it start so bad, and how did it go so well in the end? Let's break it down for you here. So it's not a very hard one to go through for this game. We can very clearly identify how the Raptors put themselves in such a hole and how they dug themselves out of it. Now, how they dug themselves out to such a degree that they managed to pull off an insane second half and fourth quarter comeback. They were still down by 15 with 12 minutes to go in this game. 17 fourth quarter points by Scottie Barnes was the catalyst, but there were numerous outstanding, incredible performances that lifted the Raptors back into this game. But how did we put ourselves in such a position against the Spurs? The Raptors were only favored in this one by 4 points. 4 points is a good amount, not incredible though. So realistically, you could see a team losing a game like this, but going down 19 at the half, only registering 35 total first half points is ridiculous. The Raptors outscored their first half total in just the third quarter alone and just the fourth quarter alone. Their overtime scoring output matches their second quarter, in fact. 13 overtime points, 13 second quarter points. 36 in the third quarter, 39 in the fourth quarter. How could it stoop so low for this team? It was yet another game where I was completely dumbfounded by the way the Raptors were playing. It made no sense at all. The thing that makes the least bit of sense is the roster construction. You took a team that struggled to shoot last year, you made it worse at shooting, and then took like 23 three-pointers in the first half. It's just opposition teams have the recognition that they can just camp in the paint against this team, and we're not going to hit shots consistently. So what are the ways around that? The very easy thing is to play with pace and play as a transition team. It's not a sustainable way to play completely, but you can certainly build on an offense that is transition-oriented, that when needs to, can also score bit by bit in the half court. But the bulk of it can come in transition. That's fine. That's a fine way to play. But confusingly, coming into this game, the Raptors were bottom, dead last in the NBA in pace. I dedicated a full video on my main channel to the pace being the biggest issue on offense beside the shooting. The shooting is an issue. So to get around them not being able to shoot the ball effectively, consistently, play with pace. Don't let them get set. But in the first half, took us 10, 12 seconds to get into our offensive sets. Scottie Barnes, who finishes with 30 points, 9 of 20 shooting, had 5 total attempts, field goal attempts in the first half. 5. 1 2-point attempt, which came with less than 4 minutes to go in the first half. So for 20 minutes, Scottie Barnes did not take a single 2-pointer. He had taken 4 threes, 1 of 4. 1 of 4, okay, but my God, like this is our best player right now, and he's not taking shots to the rim. Siakam was 0 of 5 from the field. He had a horrible game. 0 of 3 from 3 in the first half. Why are we taking all these threes? Why are we settling for all these threes and not getting to the rim? Well, it's because the guys are in the paint. They're clogging the paint, so we're just settling for these shots. But get to the rim. You get fouled sometimes, and you know what? You probably have a better chance of making it at the rim, even contested, than you do from 3 the way they're playing. So just dumbfounded that we played so slow and lethargic and just catered to exactly the way the Spurs wanted us to play. And all credit Darko again for a halftime adjustment here that gets a win. I'll credit him. I'll do so with the preface that it was an easy adjustment to make. Straight away, demeanor changed in the second half because we played with pace. Straight up. The biggest thing that changed, you play with pace. When you play with pace, the defense becomes a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more loose, let's say, giving gaps, giving spaces, and right away we got 2 good looks at the rim for Jakob Poeltl. So we're taking shots to the rim, even though contested, we're taking shots to the rim. We're getting good looks at the rim. Jakob Poeltl goes 8 of 10 from the field. You're getting good looks for that player in the paint. You're getting shots at the rim. And more players got involved, more players getting to the rim, more players fighting their way to a higher percentage shot instead of settling for a mid-range jumper, a deep 2, or even just a 3. And as momentum starts to build for this team, as we start to see the ball going through the hoop, even though the Spurs picked it up as well with their pace, they're not as good as us. They couldn't sustain the level. We continued to sustain the level, and as the momentum was building, you could feel it as shots were starting to fall. Even the threes started to catch up for this team. Even the 3 balls started to fall for this team. Most importantly, Scottie Barnes, who goes 5 of 10 from 3. In the second half alone from 3, Scottie Barnes goes 4 of 6. Huge difference. OG kept us in the game early with his shooting, kept it going second half. You bring in Otto Porter, who goes 2 of 4 from 3. I think genius move by Darko to close the game with Otto instead of Gary Trent, because you maintain the spacing that you wanted, but you also don't sacrifice defense in doing so. Gary Trent also with some big shots late. He goes 2 of 4 from 3. You still want more from him, but at least you got something out of him late in this game. It's just the simple fact that this team, when they play with pace, is way better. So to take away their ability to use pace, to play a slow half-court setting, just makes no sense with a team that has all these transition dynamos like Barnes, like Anunoby, like Siakam. So, hopefully, lesson learned from this one, play with pace. Well, shout out the incredible second half performance to make up for how bad, how awful that first half was, because it truly was disgusting basketball. Unwatchable, an unwatchable product in the first half. And we also were like 7 of 16 from the free throw line, which also did not help for this one. So that was the switch that Darko made. That was the difference. Let's go through the box scores here. Regardless of how bad it was, we had 3 guys playing really well. Anunoby had a great game start to finish, as did Pirtle, as did Schroeder. Anunoby goes 8 of 16 with 24 points, 7 rebounds. Schroeder goes 10 of 19 with 24 points. Yeah, he goes 1 of 8 from 3, but continued to put pressure on the rim, which made a difference. 6 assists as well. Pirtle, big presence inside, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 8 of 10 shooting. I don't know why people, after last game, started to question Jakob Pirtle. It made no sense to me. Barnes picked it up late. He struggled early, but 17 fourth quarter points and a big performance in overtime as well lifts him to 9 of 20, 5 of 10 from 3, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. That might be the best I've ever seen Scottie Barnes play in that fourth quarter. I don't think Scottie Barnes has ever hit a ceiling like that in an NBA game up until this point. If there is a better game, you'll have to convince me. Siakam was the blemish on the product in the starting 5. He goes 2 of 12, 1 of 4 from 3, 8 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, and a steal, 3 turnovers as well. Is kind of ugly to go along with that. Really struggled first half. Like I said, shot selection was all out of whack for this team. Second half, put pressure on the rim, got good looks. He's got to finish. The player is this is the best player on the team. Certainly not playing like it. Barnes is certainly playing like it, and he got 42 minutes to show for it. Siakam just has to do more. If this team wants to be competitive, Siakam has to be a bigger part of it. No excuse like the Philly game where they took his shots away. He had the looks, and it's one of those games he just was not making them. He just has to step up. On the bench, McDaniels frustrates me. He still doesn't do much. I don't know why he even was floated those minutes. Otto Porter, as I said, genius move to close with him. Only took the shots he was supposed to. Much better defender than Trent. I imagine that is going to be the standard going forward. Otto Porter Jr. closing games. I hate to do this. I genuinely hate to do this to Victory Lap. But I have gone out of my way to say I need to see more Otto Porter Jr. And I was told he's coming off an injury. He's stealing money from us. Horrible signing. He can't do anything anymore. Very false. Very important late in this game. I also made an entire video dedicated to the Raptors needing to upgrade the pace, and Darko's making a mistake by not doing that. Soon as he turned up the tempo, the game flipped on its head. Keep it up. Keep going to these things. They're working. They're working. Malachi Flynn wasn't a negative, which is a great sign. Still struggle to see his value game to game, but from what I've seen, this was much better. I did enjoy the fact that Darko refused to go with 4 bench players and Barnes. Today, he went with the much more sensible Flynn. He likes playing Flynn with Trent and Dick. But then, to make up for the defensive deficiencies of those threes, he plays them with Barnes and OG. Much better 5 than OG out and Boucher into those 5. Boucher didn't play today. Much better to limit the bench and the damage by going with OG and Barnes with those 3. Like that. Grady Dick, spacing is good. He still is not hitting shots. He's providing the space. He's using the gravity for those 4 assists. The shots just got to start falling. I'm sure they will at some point. I'm growing a little bit impatient. I get a little bit more impatient every game, but he's still taking good looks. He's making the right plays. Time, we give him time, it will come for him. Team stat-wise, I mean, in the end, we shoot incredibly from 3. 39.6%. Just a momentum shift from playing with higher pace, I think, was a catalyst defensively, because the defense was bad first half as well. A lot of easy blow-bys for the Spurs. And on top of that, I think just the momentum in general got the people more confident to hit those threes. And we are being more selective with our three-point looks, which started hitting more of them. Free throws, we go 16 of 26. Not good, 61.5%. But the fact that we continue to get fouled showcases the desire to actually get to the rim and hit shots there. Turnovers, 15 is bad. Scoring 22 off their turnovers is very good. Would like to see a lot more fast break points, but ultimately, this team is about tempo. This team is about rhythm. Use that to your advantage. It shouldn't be a crux. Use it to your advantage. You are a team built for transition play. That's what Masai and Bobby had in mind when they built this team. They wanted two-way assassins who could play positionless basketball. They wanted fast pace. We have the opportunity to do that. I know it's not the way Darko wants to play, but it is the way to get the best out of this team. More of it going forward, please. Drop a like, guys, if you enjoyed. We have content like this coming for every Raptors game. And subscribe to keep up to date with all of that content so you never miss out on anything coming at you from Amateur Hour.